First I saw this was at a glacier clinic. You were speaking at a glacier clinic a few years ago and running basically what I knew as the double wing out of not double wing sets. Right. So I contacted him and said, hey, our big focus here is a little bit of what Jake said. You always have to add wrinkles here or there. When Coach Val was here last year, he used kind of the 80-20 rule. He said 80% needs to be your base of what you do, but 20%, especially in the double wing, in his opinion, needed to be something else to make teams have to take time to prepare on other stuff besides what you always do. So that 20%, and this is where I was thinking of this here, those other sets of being able to use a lot of the same schemes, a lot of the same stuff, but give defenses a different look. To you, it's not very different. It's pretty cheap for you to install, but it's pretty expensive for your opponents to have to prepare for. So, Travis Schuster,
So exactly what Coach said. My name is Travis Schuster. I've been the offense coordinator at Beatrice High School now for the last, since 2006, so 10, 11 years, 12 years actually. Beatrice is a Class B school, about 30 miles south of Lincoln, and we've been really fortunate. We have a lot of good high school football players, and we've had success being in the playoffs 11 of those 12 years. And we've had a couple runs at the state title, but we haven't quite got that done. We're big into the weight room. To me, that's the key to your football program success, is how your kids buy into the weight room, and our kids have really believed in that. And then multiple sport athletes. We've got football kids playing basketball, running track, doing baseball, and we encourage that. If they are not a multiple sport athlete, by right now, if we have a football kid and he is not out to track or baseball, then he is in the weight room every day after school, except on Wednesdays. He doesn't get that. There's no choice for him. That is his spring sport. We don't really like that to happen. We have a few linemen that do that, and once in a while we'll have a kid that is coming off an injury or something that's not doing it, but we want them out for a sport. So what Coach said is exactly right. This presentation is going to be a little different. We are 70% non-double wing plays, and 30% of what we'll talk about is what we call superpower, or the toss play. Okay? But that 30% can become 100% against you if you are not prepared for it. And so once we've done that philosophy, we've thought it has really helped our football team. Okay? So here you go, right here. I want you to take a look at this picture. This is a picture that a kid drew for his second grade teacher of career day. Okay? Career day picture. He drew this picture. Okay? Or she. When I grew up, I want to be like mommy. This is a picture here. So in your mind, you have an idea of what you think this picture is, right? Right now you have that idea? The mom is horrified when this comes home from the teacher with a grade on it. Great job on your parent career day picture. The mom is horrified. So the mom writes a note back to the teacher. It says, "Dear Mrs. Jones, just so you know, I am not now, nor have I ever been a stripper." Okay? I was telling my daughter a couple weeks ago about how crazy it was at Home Depot when I was trying to sell the last shovel during the big snowstorm. And everybody was offering more money than it was worth to buy the shovel. That is a picture of a mom selling a shovel before a snowstorm. Okay? The reason I always like to include that is it seems more and more kids know less and less about football. They don't watch football like we did. Sometimes you'll ask a kid on a Monday if they watched a college game, they'll be like, "Oh no, I didn't watch that game." So one of the things that I've learned as I coach quarterbacks is that what I see or what I interpret things to be are not always the same as what the kids are. No matter how much work we do, their picture is always different. That's a mom sitting on a shovel, and to us, we might think it's somebody dancing on a pole. Okay? So it's a little different there. So one of the reasons that we added superpower to our offense is that I wanted a play that there is no confusion. There is no interpretation. Superpower is what it is. We're down blocking, we're kicking out, we're pulling as many guys as we can through the hole. There's nothing to be confused about on superpower. So at Beatrice, our run game, we are 30% superpower, and out of that 30%, 80% of it is non-wing formations. Okay? We are 30% counter, 20% jet, and 20% other stuff. And honestly, if I get some good stuff from some guys today, I want to talk to Coach Mim about his trap play. If we can get that trap going, that'll take over our other 20 or 30%, and I'll drop blast and ISO and those things. I am a counter jet coach. I'm a jet out of multiple formations and then the counter off it. That's what when I started coaching in Texas in 2000, 98, 2000, in that range is when I started. And we were a 5A school, and we were a jet zone team, okay? And the first 2 years we were okay successfully. And the thing I could not stand about zone is it was always right when you drew it up on paper. It was always right, and we were always mad at the kids. And I finally got frustrated with our offensive line coach. Said, this is great on paper, but it doesn't work sometimes on the field. So slowly we started convincing that we needed to run blast and counter and ISO off of the jet. And that's when we really took off as a football team and had a lot of success. We want balanced production a game. So this year, as an example, we were 172 a game passing, 232 rushing. We want balanced production. That is not balanced plays. We're still a 3-to-1 run it versus pass it team, but we want production to be the same. We expect our quarterbacks at Beatrice to an average normal season is they should throw for about 1,100 yards. Okay, they should have about 100 yards a game passing for us every week, minimum. We'd like that rushing to be higher, but this year it just balanced it out. Okay, so here we are with we will run super continuously if it is not stopped. So we have all this different stuff, and I'll go over what we do and how we set up our formations and stuff each week. But if we get into a game and for whatever reason your defense is not set up to stop superpower, then that's all we're running. The rest of the stuff goes out the window, and we run it till either the game's over or till they come up with some way to stop it. Our record is 18 supers in a row in a playoff game. Okay, and we've had multiple games where we'll rush for 400 yards on just superpower. And I will just pull up superpowers and it's over 400 rushing just on that one play. The 18 in a row in a playoff game is the first time we ever ran superpower. We were getting ready to play a team that we had beaten in week 5, 35-38. And we had beaten them because it was 4th and goal at the 5 with 10 seconds to go. Their quarterback panicked and he spiked the ball. And we beat them. We draw them in the first round of the playoffs. And as offensive coordinator, I knew that we were going to see something weird from them defensively because we had ran jet and counter extremely well on the first time. They come out in some junk defense, and I kind of had heard about superpower. I'd heard about the double wing, so I started pulling up all the stuff on the internet and started watching it, and I loved the power aspect of the play. So we put it in an I wing on a Monday. We kept it super simple. Everybody's down, we're kicking, led the quarterback through. First play we ran it, gained about 4 yards in that playoff game. Guy in the box says, hey, there's something's it's about ready to break, keep trying it. And 18 plays later, we had scored 35 points. The game was done. And then we thought, well, this is great, we'll just run this all the time. And then the next week in the playoffs, it worked for a little bit and we got beat. So we figured out that it's a great play, but we couldn't build our entire offense around it. So we started incorporating into different things. Our philosophy at Beatrice is we want constant pressure on 2 defenders each week. We want to put pressure on the outside backers and the D end. And what we've developed into here is we want those 2 guys to know that they have to defend superpower out of every formation that we have. Okay? We also want that outside backer to understand that he has to cover wheel, that he has to cover bubble out of most of our formations too. Okay, so here's our formation. I say we try to have 15 a week. Here's how we do it. We meet on a Sunday. We have our 5 2-back base formations. We have pro, we have slot, we have unbalanced. Maybe we'll add a split back look for a week or whatever. We want to have 5 2-back looks, and we want to have 5 1-back looks. We'll be in doubles, we'll be in trips, we'll be in 1-back tight end, we'll be in tight end trips, and we'll be in bunch. Those are usually the 5 1-backs we'll carry into the week, and then once in a while we'll carry in 5 wide as well. And then we want to have 5 heavy formations. That's unbalanced. That's Maryland I. That's I wing. We want to have 5 of those a week. We run the same plays out of all those formations. But we want to have those 15 formations that we go into every week, and we want to be able to run superpower out of at least 10 of those. Okay, why we run super? This real quick here. Just I like the us mentality, 10 guys blocking, including the quarterbacks. It establishes our physical philosophy. Forces defense to prepare for super. Now this is big. I never thought this when we started running it. Now that we run it out of all our formations, it has really helped our passing game. I think it makes our passing, we pare our passing game down, that's helped as well, but I think it makes our passing game, we'll get into some games and it doesn't look like they spent very much time getting ready for our passing game. We have a pretty multiple passing game. Sometimes it looks like they didn't spend very much time because you know that they're practicing super, and that's what some of their coaches have told us. And some coaches call it blob, some coaches, because that's what it looks like, guys. It's not a pretty, pretty about it, and most of the time our bowlers they might not get a guy. It's just the amount of bodies we put through. So like this year, we were 1,900 yards passing, 68% completion. Since 2010, when we added superpower, we are completing 68% of our passes as a team over those years. We've had a couple 1,000-yard quarterbacks, 1,900-yard kid this year, back-to-back 1,100-1,600-yard kids previous years. And here's what we tell our quarterbacks. These are the throws you have to be able to throw if you want to play quarterback for us at Beatrice. You have to be able to throw bubble, you have to be able to throw curl, and you have to be able to throw on the run in the flats, a 10-yard out. If you can do those things, we'll make all the routes up, but all of our spring out and our bootleg stuff all looks the same for the quarterback. The routes come from different areas, but we always have a flat, middle, deep, and we have a way we read those, and it works pretty well for us. We like it, since now that we run it out of our formations, it gives us a chance to be successful with it each week. I'll talk to you about how much we practice it in a little bit, and it's a cheap play for us. We feel like it's really, really cheap play, actually. Okay, well, we added it. Since then, we're 5.9 yards rushing as a team. Okay, now this is the thing that's kind of been crazy. Sometimes superpower is the one thing that's allowed us to beat some ranked teams. We've had great success with like Elkhorn South, who's just rolling right now in Class B, but we've had their number, and they have a hard time with superpower. Okay, maybe it's just the type of kids, and you know, the thing about super is the way we run it too is you're asking corners and safeties to make all the tackles, and at some of those schools, no matter what they do, those corners and safeties, they just can't get that mentality going. You know. We've been in the playoffs every year since we added it. We didn't make it in 09, but we've been there every other year. Okay, so this year's stats, we were 6.4 per carry. And then I always think that's the most misleading stat in all football, guys, is the per carry stat. Because you got the big runs and you got the garbage runs. So what we like to do, we do our end of the season breakdown is we take all of our run plays and we break them down. How many times are we 4 yards or more when we run that thing? And if it is under 48%, that play is gone. We dump that play for the next year. So like this year, we're 56% of the time 4 yards or more. Our counter play this year was like 68%. Okay? Superpower's never been below 50. But that's a huge stat that we do. We analyze all of our plays, and that's what we look at. Now, we had 17 TDs on it in 2016. 2 years ago in 2015, we had 27 TDs on it. Okay? We get a lot of those because we do like to run into the red zone as well. Okay? But we've had some big plays out of it as well. All right, here's what we're going to talk about today. Our non-wing superpower stuff. Slot and the weak side of unbalanced slot have been our best non-wing looks, and I'll show those up in a minute. Okay. One of the best things that we do is you must run super check bubble. So when we get in the slot, we run super check bubble. And if your outside backer is not head up on our slot receiver, we're going to throw a bubble if we have to check on him. If he's out there, then we'll check super, so we have the numbers. Okay. Now this is the hardest one, and Coach Meyer, Coach Sexton, all my head coaches that will get pissed about this. We got to throw a bubble out of slot even if we're not going to gain much sometimes. We just got to throw it. Even if we know it's not there, well look, we said we haven't thrown a bubble forever, let's throw a bubble. It's not there. Well, we're going to get 3 or 4 and we're going to go with that. Unlike double tight wing looks, we keep our normal splits in our non-wing looks. We don't tighten up. We have our hammer formation and our double tight stuff where we are foot to foot, but we keep our splits pretty normal when we're in our non-wing stuff. The hole is tighter, so our running back is catching the toss and he's going big gap. QB can lead if you want, but it happens so fast out of some of those non-wing formations that we don't lead him. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's a week-to-week thing, okay? So I'm going to get into some film on this one, and then I'm going to show you the basics here on the draw up here. All right, so this is it. This is just our slot formation, okay? Basic pro slot formation that everybody runs, okay? The other thing that makes us a little different than straight double wing teams is we don't double team. We don't double team. We've messed with the double teams in the past, but we like setting up, we're all about formations, and we want to set up these formations where we get this free blocker on that backside linebacker. Okay? We could have some type of double team here, but if there's a 2 technique, sometimes these guys will say help, 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 and they'll combo to him. We work that some, but we want to be boom, boom. This is against a 3-4. If there's a 4, it'd be over here, it'd be the same deal. So you can see how tight this is. So what we want to do is, if this guy was in here, we want to throw a bubble. Okay? We get all kinds of weird looks now to our slot. It's actually messed up some of our traditional slot run plays, but that's okay. We're basic, we're man blocking it. And if there's nobody in there, you're going to the second level. So we man block everything. We feel like if you work down blocks enough, your kids can handle a guy one-on-one with down block. Fullback's got to kick out, obviously. Backside guard pulls up and through. Backside tackle up and through. Quarterback tosses it here. Running back takes a slide step. The nice thing about it is we don't number our backs, guys. I got away from that a long time ago. We have a 40. 40 means the play's going to the right, 30 means it's going to the left, and we call it scheme. 40 super, 40 counter, 40 ISO. The reason we do that is we've had some players that are real good, so he might be here, he might be here, he might be here, he might be there. And I don't want him knowing that I'm the 4 guy here, the 2 guy here, the 3 guy here, the 1 guy here. So we did away with that and we just went straight number and scheme. Okay. Quarterback, if he's a good athlete, quick guy, you can roll him up in this hole. Or if you're getting chased down from the backside, you can go back door and block. This is the key block on some of these non-wing supers, is that backside tight end. You gotta scoop that guy out. You gotta get him. He doesn't have to. You just gotta get in his way, and our tackle will block back. So if we like it versus a 4, there's a 3 here. He's block, our center will block back. And there we go. Okay, pretty easy stuff. And then we will take chances once in a while. We'll run super power to the tight end side of this formation and not have anybody to block this end. I've got a clip of that here when they overlook. If there was any formation that I could talk to you about today that I think has been the best thing for us super power wise, it's this one right here, guys. Our unbalanced slot. Now we do it 2 ways. We can have our tight end there and you just cover it up. And that's what we do right now because he's our best football player, he's our best blocker, so we'll cover him up. Years past, we've kept our tight end on the backside and we put a tackle over here. Doesn't matter however you want to do it. That guy's ineligible. What we will start seeing, and you'll see it on film, is as we go unbalanced, we'll start getting teams that'll put 6, sometimes 7 guys will be cheated to the unbalanced side because we want to throw a bubble over here first every time if we can, and then we want to run blast over here if we can. Once we added super power to the weak side, we really got some stuff going. Because now I can really, if I cut this in half right here, take a line and draw it right there. There's 5 guys. Now I'm going to bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to have a 2-man advantage to that side. So we run that a lot. And you'll see all kinds of weird stuff. You'll see this guy cheat in, you'll see this guy cheat back, and then we'll just run straight toss. Block him here, go get him here, and make the corner chase. We love that formation because we can get everybody but the corner. Okay? So I'm going to get into some film here. If you want to have a question or you need something, just let me know here.
Does defense shift on you too when you do that?
Huh?
Does the defense shift?
Yeah. A lot of times against this look, especially if we've been running over here, we run our G play and our blast and our bubble scheme over here a lot. We'll get a whole shift over. If it's a 4-man front, they might give us a nose.
So then you lose another guy.
Then we're good. I mean, they're either going to give us the strong side with bubble blast, or they're going to give us weak side with super. One of those 2 things should be there.
Do you let your quarterback option out of it?
Hmm?
Do you let your quarterback option on whatever he sees on the defense, or?
No, it'll be by week. We like him to lead on this play because we want him going corner. We have some linemen that you'll see it on film. Sometimes they pull and it looks like they think they're scoring a touchdown. They don't block anybody. They're running up the field. And running backs getting tackled back here. And you're like, what in the hell is going on with you guys? But they do that all the time.
You referenced earlier about super check bubble. So out of this, let's say that outside linebacker in your slot, if he's apexed or back in the box, is that an automatic goal for your quarterback to throw the bubble and run it?
Yep. So out of this formation, we check super bubble out of slot. And out of this formation, because we don't want to pull both guys and leave this guy, it's blast check bubble. And guys, that's the other nice thing about adding it is if you already run blast, if you're a fullback that kicks out and backside guard pulls, and you already run counter where the guard pulls and the backside tackle leads up, super is the combination of the 2. So when we rep blast, we're repping half of super. When we rep counter, we're repping another part of super. And we block it the same on the play side all the time. So this would be blast, bubble, and we haven't got to the point where our quarterbacks can't figure it out, but our guy in the box can, so we'll sometimes do it off our wristbands. Blast, bubble, super. But we haven't been able to ever get a quarterback that can make that a call because they all want to throw a bubble whenever possible. And if you ever give your receivers choices on uncovered stuff, I would definitely recommend against it because they're always uncovered. Always uncovered. We had a kid at North Star. He was uncovered if the guy was standing right on top of him. He was uncovered. He slapped his hip and he won. So we don't do that anymore as much, but we do use wristbands once in a while. We can get into all these things. Okay. All right. Here we are. We're slot super. Okay. This is slot bubble check. Pretty much head up here and in the red zone. We want him to be there. Probably could throw bubble if he wanted to, but risky. So we're just going to run super here inside here. Okay. Good kick out, tight, out. This is what I like about this play. And we're not getting everybody we should here. Quarterback didn't get turned up. That's his guy, but he doesn't get him. Now watch this lineman here. I mean, that's not great football, guys. But the thing of it is it's what people talk about. It is such a mess in here for the linebackers. It's such a mess that it's hard for them to make a clean play on the running back. It's just a glob there. It's just hard to find it. And our running backs have gotten very good at hitting that seam there. Okay, here we are again. Same deal, slot bubble check. Head up on him so bubbles out. We do, this kid was a senior this year, smart kid, good, 3-sport athlete, state wrestler, BL state baseball kid, he's good. We let him start seeing out of slot are we getting cheat? Are we getting cheat out of the backside corner? Is he starting to roll over? If he is, then we kind of tell him, hey, that's cutback time now. If that guy's deep and cheated over, that you might have a cutback lane there. Okay, we teach them that. They don't always do it, but we kind of have it. We like them to look at it at least pre-snap. Okay, right there. And you can see him. We get a pretty good kick out, pretty good pull, but look, here it is again. It's just a mess. It's a mess in there. It's a mess. But there's an alley there. And I'll show you some end zone cuts where you can see it. It's an alley. Here's another one of our pullers here. What is he doing? Who's he blocking?
Danny Mills.
But look at right now. Look at it. Hey guys, we've had to talk to this kid numerous times about this. Your job is to block somebody, not to
Wait for the
to
running back.
run and walk down the field with them. Okay, but so Super will get some home runs out of it. Okay. All right. So I got some more slots coming up too, but we added this year. Man, really liked it. Where we would be in, this is our slot formation. So we got 2 receivers over here. Against Crete, traditionally a very good football program with a couple state titles. Some good strong. This is a D1 safety kid, real good athlete. We decided against these guys, we were going to trade our tight end over and become unbalanced. We're going to trade him from slot to slot unbalanced. And then we're going to try to run superpower backdoor on him. Okay? So we trade over. Okay? We get the kick. Much better. Now you can see why we lead that quarterback through here. He makes this block on a corner here. And it's not a great block, but it's enough of a block. If you guys are Nebraska football fans, this is the kid from Beatrice in Nebraska is looking at, is offered, and he's committed. This is Cameron Jurgens. He's a very, very, very good football player. When we run super to the tight end side, he's very dominant. But he still thinks he's a running back, so we give him the ball about 3 times a game. Okay? But it's just enough of a look change that it messes them up a little bit, because we're overloading that side. If you cut that side in half, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to bring 7 through that side. See, there's 4 defenders there. 4 defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's why we like it out of that formation. And that safety's cheated over there because he's worried about. Okay, this is it out of the same formation now, but we just lined up in it straight up. There's our tight end. That's the Jurgens kid. He's to this side. Okay. This is one of the few times that we ran super check bubble out of this formation, and he should have thrown bubble here. This guy's inside. He thought this guy would make the tackle, he said, so whatever. So we end up running super here. When you run this is a high risk, high reward kind of thing. You're going to outnumber him on the point of attack big time, but you have nobody to block the backside end at all. So if he runs downhill, he can make the play. He doesn't here, but you can see how close it is. Okay, here we go again. There's that second puller coming through, does everything he's supposed to do, except, that's the second one, he doesn't block anybody.
He just runs through.
He just runs through, and that's something that we work on. Some kids are, you'll see there's some other clips, kids have been really good at it, and and sometimes kids just, well, what happens is they get lost in the shuffle too.
Yeah.
They just see different colors, and it's hard to designate a guy. We tell him to hunt up. We tell our play side guard, or backside guard, he's wrapping inside. For him, it's like blast. We like him to split these backers. We're going to split those inside guys whenever we can. Okay? But that's out of that formation. Okay, now these are end zone looks, much better. Much better. This is against Alcorn South, 2014. You can see that we were big up front. They were big up front. They were the #1 team in the state, and we drew them in the first round. They weren't the top seed in the playoffs. They were ranked #1 that week going in. This is slot super.
Do you have your line have that much gap for a reason?
Have that much gap.
See between the players.
I mean,
the
why are we
center-
so wide?
Yeah,
Because we want to keep our normal splits out of our non-wing stuff as much as we can. Remember, we're not double teaming,
yeah.
so we want that space
Yeah.
there.
I just see that's a huge hole there. I mean, that's,
Right here.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is a big hole. You're right, but it's a nice easy down block for him too.
Okay.
And we found, this is the other thing we found out too. Sometimes giving them a little more space on down block's not an all bad thing.
Okay.
They get a little more momentum. And remember, we're not trying to block them down.
Down.
We don't want to block them down the field. We want to block them
Yeah.
down the line. So this is, first year we tried to do a slot when we go super, our guys would go foot-to-foot splits. Well, it was just a dead giveaway. So now we've tried to keep it. Even these guys, they're a little tighter.
Yeah. I see how.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't know, maybe our running backs all love it. They all want to run it all the time. But you can see here we're pulling our quarterback out. We did that a lot because he was a 6'6" kid and he was a mess in there. He would mess up our running backs' reads all the time. So he went outside most of the time on it. And it's a good view of how tight the hole is. We want to hit it BC gap right there. And you just gotta trust it. Just trust it and blow through there.
Just gets lost in the mix.
Yep. Because you got your, like that last time you saw there was an overhang player here. I don't know where he's at now. Not in the film. This is up there he comes. I'll show you what we mix with this, with our toss play. That's why you see all these guys out here always going outside, because we're on toss. Okay? This is a great cut up of what it should look like here at the point of attack. We tell our kids we want it to be a tunnel. We want to have half the defense pinned over here, the other half pinned over here with a guy leading the running back and running through the tunnel. And that's pretty close to what we got there. Okay. Okay. Now we're unbalanced. Now we're unbalanced. Okay. So there's two receivers over here now. Unbalanced slot. This is a balanced slot from the backside. Okay, here's a clip of our toss play. This is what we like. As you can see, we've ran super a few times now. Here's our outside backer. He's pinning himself in here tight, and here's their corner. So we can get everybody blocked here. We hook here. You got him, and you got to beat him one-on-one. Make something happen. Because if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they got 8 players playing the unbalanced side. I mean, that's pretty about as simple as you can get it. Okay, here it is from the other side. Same deal. Cut it in half. That's what we teach. There's 3 guys here again, and this backer. So 7.5 over here, 3.5 over here. We want to run slot super. Okay, you can see it. It's tight. It's tight, guys. It's just tight over here. You really got to teach your fullbacks to get. And that's the other reason. If you have foot-to-foot splits here, it's almost impossible to kick this guy. You got to teach that fullback to sniff up there a little bit tighter and to rim him out hard. This is the other thing we don't teach any log and go outside on our superpower stuff at all from our fullbacks. We don't teach that at all. It's too hard. It makes everything a mess. Now I know some other teams that do that, but we don't run enough of it to do it. So we're going to rip him out all the time. But I don't know if you guys run it a bunch. Maybe you guys see this, but this is the #1 thing that teams think they can do to stop ours is they all dive. They all dive. They just dive on the ground. We tell our down block guys just get on top of them.
They can lay on the ground if they want to.
Yep. Okay. I said that we go in with heavy formation stuff, so I'm going to show a couple of those clips, then I'll jump into our counter stuff. Our heavy formation is we'll pull out our receivers, we'll bring in a tight end, an extra tight end, that's our main tight end, and then we'll bring in an extra tackle here, tight end on the backside. Okay? We like it strong, and we like it weak. And it is almost guaranteed when we go into this look, we get a 6-man front out of everybody that we see. We have never played a team that has played us in anything less than a 6-man front in our hammer set. We also run it with a wing here, but we figured out for whatever reason when we ran wing, people would put their end outside of this third blocker here. And it was always, you know, it was just, we didn't like ever having a wing back here. But we do this, yeah, people are just fine and dandy with leaving their DN in a position where our tight end can block them down and our guys can kick out. So we like it, and we love it weak. Love it weak again, because here it is, it's 5-on-7, so we love it weak as well. Actually, it's 5-on-8. Okay, Alcorn High, good football team. Good football team. You're a traditional, of course, Mortman does an awesome job up there. They've won a bunch of state titles. We have a hell of a time beating them. This is the only time we've ever beat them. Okay? This is a 6-2 look for them. They're a 4-4 team. There's their 4 guys. They're in tight. We had not shown hammer, or we had shown a wing, but we hadn't shown hammer, and they didn't make an adjustment. They let this guy sit here. There's a guy here, and there's an outside backer here. And here's that big 6'6" quarterback, and this is why he stopped leading. He just doesn't, it's too slow, and he's just an extra body there. He doesn't do much there. What we found out on a hammer is we get a lot of bounces. It's the opposite of what you'd think. We're slot, we end up running supers and A-gap, B-gap play. We get all bunched up in there, tight as can be, and our running backs get a lot of bounce plays. Good down blocks here. Good tackle here by our tight end. That's the Jurgens kid. He'll do that once in a while. Tackle guy. Never gets caught though. He just tackle. Okay? So we get a bounce there. Now we've got it. Here it is. Weak side. You can see the numbers here. 5 against 8. So we like that. And we get easy down. We're always going to get one of these 2 guys going to get free release on that backer. Or the center if we get a nose. But we don't get noses hardly ever. Here's a good look at it from up top. So then they decided to move their backers, keep them at backer depth. Okay? We get good down blocks. You can see the hole starting to develop. Here's the cutoff point. There's half the team. Here's half of our team. And we teach our running backs to run in that tunnel. One more time on that one. So we just want to cut him off. We just want to create the cutoff. Then, look at it here to the weak side, okay? Down everything here. The nice thing about running it weak is you got 2 guys on the backside to seal back doors, so you don't get very many run-throughs on the backside. You don't get very many run-throughs. You got these 2 guys working for these guys, you got the center blocking back, so you're good back door, really good. Because one thing teams will do to try to stop you is try to get a run-through, but if you do this, it's pretty hard for them to get a run-through. This running back will overstep it a little bit. Then he feels the hole, he feels the tunnel, and he cuts it back. So it's just something the running backs got to learn to read it. They got to feel it. Okay, guys, I want to talk to you real quick about something that I did not believe in doing this year. Not because I'm not a big supporter of breast cancer research, but I just didn't like the idea that our football team is going to wear pink jerseys in a district game. But Coach Meyer, our head coach, was great on it, and you can talk to him about how he did it. But he went through local businesses in town, found sponsorships, bought these pink jerseys. They were pretty cheap, but they looked good for that one night. And it was our opening district game. And this is a clip of our superpower from our traditional I wing that we all started on. We're going to get a down block here, and the nice thing about this is our wing's always working to seal, so, but it looks pretty good running superpower in those pink jerseys. Okay? Now, we have a reward system And we do have a reward for touchdown blocks that spring touchdowns. And this is what you'll get with this. You know, your quarterback right here, this little block he does right here, he argued with us that this was a touchdown block. That's what he's looking at the sidelines. That's what he's yelling at us right now. That was a touchdown block. That was a touchdown block. But great idea, guys. If you don't ever do something like this, the kids loved it. They loved wearing the jerseys. We're going to wear them for one night a year. And we picked a local family that was battling cancer, and all the funds went to them. Great publicity for your program. Great publicity for your program. Okay? All right. Any questions on Superpower? I'm going to get into our counter jet stuff now, real quick here. Okay. We got to change presentations here. Okay, jet action counters, guys. We're big into jet and jet action counters. We love them. Our main reason is we want to create that vertical AB gap run off of the horizontal action of the jet. The counter for us is an AB. We are basically an AB gap run team. And when we run C gap plays, we tell our backs to hit them in B and A. Blast is B and A. Counters B and A. Super's B and A. Jet's outside and toss is outside. Okay? We want to move, this is huge for us. We want to move defenders' eyes with motion, and if they move their feet as well, it's a bonus. There's been studies on this that your eye can't not look at something that's moving. It's almost physically impossible for you not to track motion. That's why you see cars out of the periphery when you're driving and all those things. We got that from Art Briles gave us that point long ago in Texas. That people, their eyes have to go with motion. No matter what, they have to move with motion. So I already talked about this. We were a zone team, straight jet inside zone. That was it, guys. That's all we had for run. Every play, if it was a run play, it was jet zone check. That's all we did, and then we threw it a bunch. I took over as the offensive coordinator in 2001, and we started adding counter blast and ISO, and then we became, for the last 3 years I was there, we averaged about, the lowest we averaged a year was 465, and then we bumped ourselves up into the 480s and 490s one year. Okay. And then we started having counter jet check, blast jet check, ISO jet check, and it really opened up everything for us. Okay. We keep it, okay, so here's our rule on counter. We keep it super simple for our tight end. If he has a 7 technique, and what we teach our tight end is a 7 technique is a guy lined up between you and the tackle. That's a 7 technique if he's in that gap. If he's head up on you, you're blocking down. If he's head up on the tackle, you're blocking down. But if he's in the gap, you're arcing. We arc a 7 technique. Everything else, our tight end blocks down. Okay? And that has worked great for us. Love arcing on counter when we can. Okay? If we can't do it, we block down, no big deal. So against an odd front team, he's down blocking there's no arc for no matter what. We get arcs a lot versus 4-4 teams. But against any odd front, 3-3, 3-4, tight ends hard down on all of our counters. Like I said, we want to split the inside backers. Backside gets a down block, play side gets a pulling tackle. Real quick, we have a little system that we use that I think helps us in that how we identify our linebackers. And this system comes from a combination of back when Miami in 2001 was super good and Wisconsin was super good. We went to a clinic, they both spoke, and we kind of took a combination of it. Basically what we're going to do is we number the backers from backside to front side. So this is the play side here. We number them 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this, you can do it against however you want to do it. Well, our rule is simple. Down combo to 1, pull for 2, arc for 3. Down combo to 1, pull for 2, arc for 3. And it works against all of them. It works against a 3-5, it works against a 3-4, it works against everything. Now we don't combo as much anymore, so it's down to 1. down to 1, pull for 2, arc for 3. Okay? If he doesn't get an arc block, somebody else is going to take care of 3, either with the motion or by formation. But our pulling guy always knows, I'm pulling for 2, period. Okay? Our guys kind of do it in their head now. They used to not do it. When I was at Coppell, a funny story, we had a Korean center and a Korean guard, and they'd jabber about that stuff in Korean all the time. Who had 1, who had 2, they'd come around like that. And one game they come off the field, and they're laughing, and one of the outside linebackers on their team, he was Korean too, knew everything they were saying. Knew it all. Knew, that's your guy, that's my guy. So we had to we came up with different rules, but we don't do that anymore. We just teach that as our rule at the start of the season. We don't come up to the field and go, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. We just teach them that rule. Down on 1, pull for 2, arc for 3. And it's been really good for us. I've used that for 15 years. Like I said, we don't log and arc around. We want to kick it out and run it in A and B gap. Okay? All right. We run it from one back, 2 back, empty. Any formation you run jet, we run counter. Okay? Counter was by far our best play this year. 9.6 average, lots of home runs on our counter play. Over 4 yards, 64% of the time. Last year it was 69, this year 64. When we're in 1 back set, we run it equally between the quarterback and the running back. Okay? Our quarterback's main run play is counter. Okay? All right, here's our base. 2 back jet counter. We're going to bring the motion here, fake the motion. Our aiming point is 1.5 yards down the quarterback on under center counters and 1 yard in front of him on shotgun jets. Fake it here, fullback's got that. Okay, running back here, there. Nice thing about it is, to the defense, we run jet blast and we run jet ISO. We have never figured out, we should probably run jet super, but we just don't. Doesn't work. Doesn't, just too much. By the time he fakes, it slows up the timing of the whole thing. So that's what our jet looks like out of that, our jet counter. Here it is out of a 1 back set. This is our best formation, guys, to run our, this is a good formation for us, jet counter, because we're going to get either an arc or a down by our tight end. Okay? That's the same thing. Same principles apply both ways. And then this is one of our unbalanced. We said we want to have 5 unbalanced heavy formations. This is one of our unbalanced formations that we like to run. We'll tackle over, leave a tight end here. Bring the motion, and we'll run jet back door weak. It's almost the same philosophy as a superpower, because we almost always get some version of a roll coverage down to defend the jet. Okay? And we fake jet a lot more than we run jet. Okay, here we go. Just our rip set. Tight end here, 1 back. We're going to run motion and we're going to run counter. Okay. Obviously not a great defensive team, but it's a good look at how the pulling should work and how the down block should work. For this guy, so our tight end has a down block here all the way. That guy's head up on the tackle, so he's going to down block him. Okay? So he's going to down block him. And we're going to go from there. Now, the one thing that our jet guys have gotten a little better, that's a decent fake there. We'd like them to run it a little harder than that, but still pretty good. All right, I put this in here because if we don't fake the jet, we still run the same philosophy counter, but we have to have a motion, we have to formation it. So this is tight end trips. So instead of influencing a guy over here with a jet fake, now we're going to influence a guy by having him cover a receiver. Okay. Basic football here, but we do the same thing. Okay? We want to run it with our quarterback, we want to run it with our running back, we want to split it up. You could run this very same play out of 5 wide if you want to, with your quarterback running it. We don't do that much anymore, but we used to do a little bit of that. Okay, here's an under center one, under center counter. Okay. Okay. See our tight end here? There's nobody in this gap, so I'm down. He thinks he has to help with that, doesn't, he rolls to the next level. This is a playoff game. These guys have tons of film on us, and this is what we're talking about. Eyes and feet move with the jet. That safety's out of there.
Yeah.
He's not moving hard, guys, but he's moving enough. And okay. That's why we like jet now. This is, I just wanted to show, after you ran some jet, it used to be we ran jet ISO all the time. Jet ISO, jet ISO, jet ISO. And then we'd run jet counter as the counter play. We're a lot better counter team than we're ISO. Because ISO means man blocking, and counter or something gets us down, so now our change up to counter is to run ISO. So we kind of reverse that philosophy. But you'll see this guy here, he thinks counter. This is enough of a step to give us a hole for ISO. Okay? Okay, a couple more of these. Okay, this is a team that decided they would play us in a 6-man front to stop superpower. And they just decided to stay in it against one-back stuff half the time. Okay? Anytime we get a 6-man front, we love counter, we love super, because we feel like we're going to get nice, easy holes. Okay, and then here's the last clip here is a clip of, I got 2 clips left, I think. This is a clip of our blast off of our jet action. So now we're going to kick out, we're going to pull backside. Backside guard. Good look there. Okay. We get a lot of this because there's nobody to, this guy will, they have to have somebody to count for your jet out of this formation when you motion like this. Okay. And then I'm sure there's guys that run a lot more rockets and jets than we do, but one of the best plays we added this year, guys, is we ran jet inside. Jet inside is what we call it, and it's just ISO to the jet guy. And we block it. We tell our guys we're blocking this like ISO. Back is leading through. His job is he has to play side linebacker. Okay. The reason we like it is it's a heck of a good influence play on this guy, because now he sees the ball handed off to the jet guy, and he is coming downhill for his alley fill all the time. And it was great for us this year. It was a great play for us this year. We ran it out of a lot of unbalance, and the kids got good at this stuff. Hit the hole and think cut back. 5 yards, cut back. 5 yards, cut back. So if you want to, it's a play that I loved running, and we've got good skill kids and stuff, so we don't keep them involved, we want to keep them happy. That's why we've made super part of our offense, but not the whole thing. If you have any questions or you want anything, just give me a holler. The stuff's on the sheet. If you want the video clips, I believe I can send those to you as a huddle file. So, okay. Any questions or anything? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.